Do you notice that XRP is trading at 2.58 and Bitcoin is above $118,000? It seems like only yesterday when Bitcoin and XRP were down about 160 cents. It was somewhere about $70,000, though I can't recall the exact amount. Not even close to our current location. The sky seemed to be falling back then. Here's the problem though. You likely saw the indications that things were going to take off if you were listening. All year long I've been discussing them, and guess what? They were exactly right. Let's be honest now. I am not an expert in cryptocurrency. I simply focus on the appropriate people, reliable professionals with strong reputations and sizable fan bases. They've been helpful in pointing the way, and I keep a close eye on them. Following the correct voices makes a huge difference, so you just need to be careful who you listen to. To be honest, that doesn't happen very frequently, but I try to maintain track of as many individuals as I can until they give me a reason not to trust them. To be honest though, it's hardly surprising that we've arrived at this stage. What else is there to be surprised by? XRP is reaching yet another record high. It's undoubtedly coming. For the first time in around 7.5 years, it will soon go into price discovery. People, it's been 7.5 years. If everyone's mind is completely blown and we all need to reconsider everything, it shouldn't be shocking. That's our destination. So allow me to share some of the indications we should have spotted, and the things we have encountered along the way, and some hope for the future since, to be honest, things can only get better from here. Broad overview. Things are getting better. $118,000 in Bitcoin. It's crazy indeed. Furthermore, it's acceptable if you're not interested in Bitcoin. It's completely acceptable if it's not your thing. Although I still have some, I'm not as excited about it as I once was. The truth is that I've had it since 2017. I think altcoins are where the real excitement lies. The fact that Bitcoin is at the forefront is quite remarkable. We all sort of anticipated that once this got going, the cryptocurrencies will follow, and XRP is one among the ones doing just that. But I want to be honest with you. This isn't financial advice, and I don't have any financial experience. Therefore, please don't rely any judgments about purchasing or selling on my assertion that you are correct. Do your own research at all times. Anthony Pompliano posted a fantastic piece yesterday, and to be honest, he was spot on. He is a conversation starter, as evidenced by his 1.7 million followers. He brought up the fact that equities reached all-time highs just a few weeks ago, despite the fact that everyone was talking about the Great Depression. His counsel: pay attention to the sources of your knowledge. You got it correctly. I make an effort to keep it in mind every day. TechDev, a chart analyst, wrote this intriguing piece. If you're shocked, you're not paying attention, he said. And he's right on the money, really. This has been obvious from the beginning. The price of Bitcoin is shown at the top of the chart. The liquidity-weighted business cycle is at the bottom. And you know what? Each and every cycle has played out in the same manner as the one we are currently witnessing. Bitcoin's parabolic run into the last part of the cycle is signaled by the commencement of the liquidity-weighted business cycle. That's precisely where we are at the moment. Among the many indicators that align flawlessly is this one. Might things be different this time? Yes. However, how are things going for people who have been relying on that mindset? Not great, spoiler alert. Il Capo of cryptocurrency, who has 970,000 followers, is one example. I understand now. Despite the fact that nobody is perfect, he has made some really poor decisions. To be honest, it wouldn't be a huge concern if he could simply own up to his mistakes. However, when he doesn't, everyone notices, and that's when trust begins to erode. The most notable of these was the one who posted constantly about the collapse of Bitcoin at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. Furthermore, he was certain that Bitcoin would fall to $12,000 when it hit its low of about $15,000 or $16,000, but guess what? It didn't. He kept doubling down when prices rose to $20,000, then $25,000, and even $40,000. Even though the true bottom was closer to $15,000 or $16,000. Refusing to acknowledge that he had fallen short, he adhered to his story. Seeing someone argue with gravity was like that. However, they aren't as credulous as he seemed to believe. Many people were able to see through the charade with ease. Yes, some people still believe everything he says, but many others have pointed it out after realizing how obviously he was fabricating a story. They ultimately came to share my perspective. I simply cannot rely on you. In all honesty, it's because he knew he was mistaken, as we all know. Admit it. It's not like making a mistake is inexcusable. I mean, I make mistakes too. Everyone does. I also hope that people would be kind to me when I make mistakes. Isn't that a characteristic of humanity? Owning it, however, is crucial. Simply state, yeah, I was wrong. It's as easy as that. However, he didn't. Then, to make matters worse, have a look at his posts. This won't hold up well over time, in my opinion. He posted it yesterday afternoon, just when Bitcoin was rising and the market was pumping. Even if he may already be mistaken, he is now claiming that this could be the biggest fallacy, remaining watchful. To be honest, I don't believe it to be a bull trap. Is he likely to confess? I'm not going to hold my breath if he's wrong this time. Let us be intellectually honest here. That's all I'm suggesting. Is that asking for too much? Accept responsibility if you're mistaken. Everything is all right. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning. I understand, but perhaps stand back for a moment. Individuals are not unaware. They are able to tell when you are merely defending yourself and not taking responsibility for your actions. Being flawless is not important. It's about having the maturity and honesty to own up to your mistakes. The problem is that clinging to pride and ego in that way can really make things more difficult for you. It creates distance and pushes people away. It's one of those lessons in life that you should learn as soon as possible. I'm hoping he'll figure it out in time. This post was posted on June 27th by chart analyst XRP. Oh, indeed, there were signs, as I had mentioned. This is an XRP versus USD chart, and according to XRP, will take off in July. Yes, you heard correctly. He is now indicating that the price may move closer to $6 or $7 if you look at this. According to him, there may be significant price discovery for XRP in July. Hopefully the prognosis turns out to be accurate. Personally, I believe it will occur. Soon perhaps, but not precisely in July. It's definitely feasible, but no one can say for sure. This month we'll see some significant developments. Here's the thing then. He firmly thought that a market breakout was imminent, which is why XRP is acting. Price discovery is still a ways off, but I believe it will happen soon. Folks, the analysts I follow had been pointing out the indications for some time. Their messaging has been overlapping a lot lately, which drew my attention. They all appear to agree that XRP might be poised for a significant upswing. Furthermore, it is really uncommon for so many chart analysts to concur on that. At this time, they were unable to determine if it would be today, tomorrow, next week, or next month. However, it speaks a lot that they were all in agreement. Thus, consider that to be true. Just a few days ago on July 6th, Matsby wrote this fantastic piece. For the first time in a long time, he noted, XRP has just ended a weekly candle above the 20-week moving average. This might be the beginning of its next significant upward rise, he said. And you know what? He was correct. There were signs, enormous XRP signs that shine. Last night, Matsby even updated that update to inform everyone that the warning indicators existed prior to this catastrophe. All you needed to do was listen. As usual, pay attention to who you're listening to and take in a range of viewpoints and views. I do it, and it has a significant impact. Nobody always does things correctly. Even the most skilled professionals will occasionally make blunders. It's simply a characteristic of humanity. Most of the time the errors are minor, but occasionally they are significant, and that's acceptable. Examining a range of sources is crucial because of this. Opinions on one extreme and the total opposite on the other are frequently found. In actuality, it's typically in the middle. You can have a better understanding of what is likely to occur by considering several